Alrighty, friends, last video for this week. Way to hang with us. So, what we're going to talk about today is the power of good modeling and being a good example. You may have seen one of our quick lessons about this on Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure you check us out there. We do a quick parenting tip each week, just in a little slide lesson format, so that you can get things in bite sized pieces. But we talk about the value of being a good example and a good model. So, as we've gone through this month, we've asked you to identify what's in your circle of control and what's not, and to take more ownership of what's in your circle of control and relinquish ownership of what isn't in your circle of control. And for a lot of parents, when we ask them to relinquish control, it causes panic, like some sort of panicky response within them. Like I'm only a good parent if I'm making them like each other and I'm making them get along and I'm making them find conflicts and not find conflicts, but I'm coaching them through conflict resolution. And I'm a bad mom if I let go of this and I let them fight and argue and experience the natural outcomes of all of those things. And what are Janet and Celeste asking us to do? What's their problem, man? Okay, so what we've asked you to do is recognize what's in your circle of control and what's not, and to relinquish what's not and give ownership for the choices that people make in their own circle of control. So, what we want to do is help you recognize that letting go of control doesn't mean you're letting go of your influence. The best way for you to influence your kids is for you to model what it is that you wish they were doing. So, if you want your kids to be good at conflict resolution, here's the question. Here's what's in your circle of control. Are you good at conflict resolution? And are they seeing you be good at conflict resolution? If you want your kids to be good at being flexible with the person that lives in their home and patient and understanding and compassionate, the question is, what's in your circle of control? Are you doing all of those things? How about if you want your child or your children, excuse me, my mouth is dry, to know how to stand up for themselves and communicate their boundaries with kindness and with love, and to hold their boundaries firm. Okay, if you want your kids to do that, what's in your circle of control? It's not forcing them to do it. It is you doing it. You having your own boundaries. You standing up for yourself assertively, yet in a way that honors other people. Assertively and kindly and non-emotionally and politically correctly. That was a double like ly, and that my English teacher would get after me for that. So, what we want to really help you understand is that we've got this plan in place for communicating your boundaries, and then letting your kids choose, letting them own the outcome, and giving them consequences with love and empathy. But what we want you to be working on is, what are the skills that you want them to have in terms of interpersonal relationships, and how can you model those for them? So, are you patient with them and flexible with them and firm with boundaries with them and apologizing when you're off and stepping away when you're starting to lose your cool? Are you paying attention to your own emotional regulation and self-soothing and regulating yourself so that you aren't exploding on other people? Really look at each of those elements that you want them to have in interpersonal relationships. And instead of taking all of your time and energy trying to coach them and force them and all of those different things, take that same amount of time and energy that you would use to model it yourself, so that they can see what the tools are in real life, in action. This is going to teach them so much better than a lecture could or a coaching session could. Seeing it in real time, real life, even experiencing it themselves, I mean, that's going to be huge. Say that you're interacting with your child and they start to lose their cool, and you say, hey, I don't want to play with you when you're getting angry, and then you walk away. What did you just teach them to do when a playmate or a sibling is getting angry? To say, hey, I'm not going to let myself be treated that way, and I'm walking away. Okay? So, the value of you being a good model and a good teacher through example is totally underrated. So, what is it that you are struggling with that you could improve on and focus on that instead? So, for today, I would like you to share in the comments what are some of the interpersonal skills that you wish your kids had with each other that you could do a better job of modeling yourself? Is it conflict resolution? Is it problem solving? Is it give and take? Is it being flexible? Is it being clear about your boundaries and then following through? Is it emotional regulation? I am sure that there is at least one of those that has some room for improvement. Oh, is it repairing when relationship is off? Is it not exploding on people when they're really irritating you? I'm just thinking about this morning and how my daughter was driving me nuts, and then I exploded and I yelled, and then I thought, how can I ask her to not do that with her own sibling when I, a 34-year-old woman, did it with a 6-year-old child? So, okay, what's in my boundary? What's in my circle of control? That is. And I need to work on that. And so I apologized to her. I told her it was wrong. And that in the future, I'm going to step away when I'm angry. Okay, that's so much better than getting involved in all of the conflicts. So much better than trying to force them. Now, they may not choose your value system for how to get along with other people, and you cannot force them to. So, what you're going to do is take the energy on you having great interpersonal relationships, allowing them to make their own choices, so that if their choices are very different and lead to very different results than yours, at some point they can compare the two because you're not being judgmental or critical or controlling. And they're going to see, you know what? My mom or my dad successfully manages relationships. And I wonder what it is that they do because all of my relationships keep on imploding. So I'm going to go to them because I feel safe to go to them. I don't feel controlled or criticized or judged, and ask them what it is that they're doing and be open to their feedback. You guys, they may be 40 when that happens. We have no control over that. They may be 14. So do what is in your circle of control, your boundaries, you're giving them ownership, and you modeling things as best as you can. So for next week, we are going to do a question and answer period where we are going to answer any remaining questions that you guys have and do some coaching with some of you. So if you would like to be coached, please email support@parentwithapro.com. Support@parentwithapro.com. That's right. Okay. And put in the subject line sibling squabble coaching and let me know that you would like to be coached. If you have questions that you would like to have answered on Monday morning, a post will go live. No, I take that back. I'm going to go make that available now where you can be posting questions in the comments so that Janet and I can be gathering those and make sure that we give well thought out answers to those. So what questions do you have remaining? What obstacles are you running into? What major mindset blocks are you having a hard time getting over that you could have some help? Now, I will tell you that our goal is to not sit on the throne of answers, but to get you to think for yourselves so that you can be your own parent coaches. So we will approach it that way. But ask those questions in that post and we will talk to you then.